This is not the video I planned to make, but it is the video that I made. And I'll explain that. You know, there's the old saying about battle plans are great until they meet the enemy or something to that effect. Well, okay, so I was going to tell you the story. I was going to go through this. We're going to take it apart, see how it worked. We're going to take it over the bench and plug it into a crystal radio and see how these old high impedance earphones worked and how well they worked, I should say. And, you know, all the different things. Well, okay, that was the plan, and then the reality is something quite different. But, yeah, let's go through the story. I went to an indoor flea market, and, you know, just typical indoor flea market. And I go there about every 2 weeks and see what's changed. And so the first time I saw these, the guy wanted about $120 for them. And I was like, whew, no, I can't do that. And then I go back 2 weeks later, they're still there, same price. And yeah, so still can't afford them. 2 weeks later, they're not there. So I thought, okay, I lost my chance. And go back another 2 weeks, still not there and whatever. And a few days ago, I was there again. And the guy was standing there and he says, got any questions? And I said, well, yeah, I used to have some old earphones there. And, you know, just kind of wondering what happened to them. And he said, well, yeah, I sold those. And he goes, oh, wait, you mean the really old ones, the antique ones? And I said, yeah, I guess that's what I mean. And he said, oh, yeah, let me go look. And he goes rummaging through a box in the back of his little area and pulls these out. And I said, what's today's price? And he said, $50. And I'm kind of like, no, $50 is still a lot of money. I mean, it's, yeah. And he said, I said, let me go look around a little bit and I'll think about it. He says, what about $30? And I said, $30 I can do. $30 I'll take. So I took it. And yeah, I mean, they're these standard, they were made by Brown, S.G. Brown Company Limited, right there. And they're Type Fs. They were made in, I think, 1922 in that era. And they have a plug that was used for, it used a vacuum tube plug to plug in your earphones. And yeah, so it was a bear getting this thing open. If you ever work with bakelite, remember, don't put any pressure on it. What you want to do is you want to lube it up good with some kind of a you know, whatever, WD-40 or one of those things. And the most you want to do is like rap on it with your knuckle to loosen it and just let it sit. Don't ever take pliers to it because this stuff has all the strength of weakly fired clay. Yeah, so, okay, back to the story. Got it, brought them home, and I noticed there was a break in the wire, and I thought, okay, no big deal. So I just made a clean cut in the wire, and I was going to use all my tricks to solder it up. Let's zoom in here so you can see the wire better. Okay, and focus. And I was going to use all my tricks to patch this together and make it look good. So this is a very odd type of copper. It's extremely thin copper wire that is co-wrapped with silk threads and makes it very flexible. They're very good. And then that is wrapped with, I believe, what is silk. And so it's just spirally wrapped like this. That outer casing is then wrapped with a braided cloth, and then the whole thing is wrapped with an outer braiding. So yeah, this is triple wrapped, and I was going to do my trick of joining the wires like this and then wrapping it with a fine wire and soldering them and whatever. And as I was doing that, I mean, this was disintegrating. And in fact, I don't know if you can see, but this is stuff that I'm poking around. That is a combination of cloth, bits of copper, whatever, and the stuff just starts falling apart. So I realized that the wire had multiple breaks in it, and yeah, you'll notice that this is cloth and silk and whatever, and that won't block water. And when you have very fine copper like this, copper is, well, it corrodes very easily, and there's nothing that keeps humidity or water or anything from penetrating and getting soaked into here. And so this stuff just, I mean, it just crumbles. And so the wire's shot. I'm going to have to find some substitute because I got online and I looked everywhere for any kind of, you know, cloth-coated replacement wire. Just not out there. Just not out there. So probably going to use some more modern wire. There is some cloth wrapped wire, but this thing came with a, let's see if I can clean this up a little bit so you can look. There's a Y junction here, and yeah, there's nothing like that out there available. So that's kind of that. The wire will not be original. Let's take a look at one of the earpieces. This has an interesting system for allowing adjustment. These are way too small for my fat head, but anyway, you can adjust the earpiece up and down, and they also tip like this. And now let's open the earpiece and see how it works. Kind of interesting. Again, this is all bakelite, and it breaks quite easily. Originally, these had a paper gasket around them. One of them still has it. I opened the one that didn't, of course. But yeah, they have a paper gasket around it. And then the metal diaphragm. And the metal diaphragm was so special it had its own brand and whatever. Okay, set that aside. So here, what we have are two, actually they're permanent magnets, and coils around them. And so the wire comes in here. Notice it's marked with red, and something I didn't point out is on these wires, one of them is all black and the other has red threads sewn into it, so you can tell the positive from the negative, which I thought was quite interesting. But here is the positive lead attached here, and it goes to the one side of the coil, the black to the other. I have not figured out if these are wired in series or parallel, because again, the wire is just disintegrated, so I can't really do much. When I get ready, I'm just going to take it apart, cut the wire open, do whatever I have to figure that one out. But anyway, yeah, that's that for these pickup coils. The other one's just an identical copy of it. And what else is interesting? I think that's about it. These are just, your standard, very old, 104-year-old pieces of equipment for old-time radio. And yeah, the wire thing, well, when you go to buy one, don't count on the wire being there. Also, when you do bakelite, as I'm screwing this on, I should remind you, just screw them on just a little bit tight. You don't really need to crank them on there. Bakelite loves to bind up, which was the problem for this thing. Somebody had really cranked it down on there, and I finally did a Hail Mary pass on it and just torqued it as hard as I could using rubber grip and whatever, and turned it and just hope it didn't shatter, and it didn't. I got lucky. Okay, well, that's it for this rather old crystal radio earphone. It was also, I should mention, used in vacuum tubes type radios at the time. But yeah, I hope you found this useful and interesting in whatever crystal radio experimentation you're doing and any other old-time radio work.